Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So we're here with the Rivian R1T, and in this video I want to do a Rivian 101. How do you do all the basic stuff? Like how do you open the frunk? How do you open the gear tunnel? How do you engage the hands-free driving when you're out on the road? So maybe this is your first Rivian, maybe you're thinking about buying one. So hopefully this video helps you kind of get the basics down and feel comfortable when you get in your Rivian. I'm borrowing this R1T from a friend to film some content for you guys, get a little more familiar with the Rivian myself. And so these are all the little things I ran into or Googled throughout the week. And so hopefully this helps you come up to speed. And big thanks to my friend here for letting me borrow the car and get it on the channel. All right, so this is a 2025 R1T Gen 2 dual motor, large battery model. And a lot of these things will also apply to the R1S SUV as well. Not perfectly, but most of the things are generally the same. All right, so we're going to start on the outside. I'll show you how to open everything from the outside with the buttons that are there. We'll also go inside. I'll show you how to do the same thing from the infotainment screen. And then I'll also show you the options that you have in the app. All right, so we're going to start right here in the front first. And there is it's not directly in the center because that's where the camera is. There's a button just, if you find the camera, it's just to the left of that. And you can push on that and then your front trunk will open. And it is a powered frunk. And then you can see you've got pretty good storage in here. There's a couple of lights in here as well. And then there's some additional storage space underneath here for, I've got adapters, level 1 charger, all that kind of stuff. So it's nice. You've got some space to keep all that stuff. And a couple pockets here. Also, if you want to fill up your washer fluid, they've got that right under here. And they've even got a little filter in there so you don't have anything fall into your washer fluid reservoir. And then if you want to close it, you just push the button again and it will close for you. All right, so coming up to the side here, if you've got phone as a key set up, then it will unlock as you get close to the car. This has worked really well for me. And to open the car, you just pull right here on the handle. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. The best thing you can do to lock the car, if you have phone as a key set up, is literally just walk away. And then those door handles will close and the mirrors will close. So that's typically how you're going to get in and out of the car. Now, if you want to lock it when you're close to the car, you kind of have two options. One, you can open the app and lock it. The other one is Rivian makes a key fob you can buy. Typically, the Rivians just come with a little credit card type thing. And so you can also put the card right here and it will lock it too. Now the Rivian also has kind of a cool party trick with the gear tunnel to give you lots of extra interior storage. And to open it, there's a rubber button right here. There's also one on the other side. And then this opens just like this. And then to close it, you just push it back up and you'll hear a little latch go once you push it all the way closed. And yes, you can stand on here. It's rated for 250 pounds. And then if you want to open the tailgate and or the bed cover, there's separate buttons for here. So here's the tailgate and it will open like that. Now it does not have a power close option. So if I push this again, it just releases the latch again. And then to open the bed cover, you push the other button. And at any point here, you can press it again to stop it and push it again to close it. So we'll let it open all the way up here. And then there is a spare tire storage. You don't necessarily have to have a spare tire in there. And open that, there's a manual latch right here. This is all on the driver's side of the car. You pull on this, and then you can lift this open. And then there's little hydraulic struts that will open there. Then here's your spare tire storage. You can put whatever you want in there. You can see there's no spare in here right now, but definitely some extra nice storage there in addition to the gear tunnel. And then to close it, just push it down and it'll latch closed. And then you can close the bed cover or the tailgate first. The order doesn't matter there. Then on the passenger side, there's no buttons for the tailgate, but there is the gear tunnel button for this side. So we'll open up this side now. There is a 12-volt outlet on the driver's side, and then there is a 120-volt outlet here on the passenger side in the gear tunnel. Now, speaking of the gear tunnel, the other kind of cool thing is in the rear seats here, you can fold down this armrest, and then there's this little garage door right here. And you can actually open that up and get to the gear tunnel. So yeah, you can see you can get into the gear tunnel right through here. And maybe the last thing on the outside is how do you open the charge port. So there's some little bumps, little raised ridges right here. So you just swipe your hand over that and it'll open right up. Now this is CCS because this is a 2025. The 2026 Rivians have a NACS port in here instead. But you can still use an adapter with this car and charge on a Tesla supercharger if you want. And then you can also close this charge door from inside, or when you put it in gear, it will automatically close. But from the outside, just swipe your fingers there and it will close right up. All right, so coming inside here, let me show you how to do all of those same things on the inside. So you can see up here, if you want to lock or unlock your doors, they're right here. You know, when the Rivian is unlocked, you can see through my mirror here, the doors are unlocked. So it's kind of obvious to everybody around you that your doors are unlocked, but they are convenient door handles. So if you want to lock it, just press a little lock there, and then you can see the doors are locked now. And then for all the other things, if you tap on the little truck icon up here, now you can do all the same things pretty much we were just talking about. So you can open and close the charge port right here. So you might be able to see that open right there. Yep. And you can close it up. You can also open and close your frunk. And then you can also tap it, I guess, at any point. You can also do that with the button on the outside. These are lights on the side mirrors, so it's going to be a little bit hard to see in the day, but especially at nighttime, if you want to shine some light to the side of you, that's very helpful. This will also fold your mirrors. These buttons here are for the gear tunnel, tailgate, bed cover, and then the last one we haven't talked about yet is on the glass roof option here. You can see I have that push right now, so you can see it's kind of a frosted glass opaque look. You can see it opens right up, and now it's still somewhat frosted. You can see the trees back there, and then I'll frost it again. So pretty cool. So yeah, all those settings are super helpful. There's also a little shortcuts menu. You can turn on and off the rear displays. You can get to the outlets. There's a car wash mode. So, you know, those exterior buttons become deactivated so they don't get activated by accident in the car wash. That would not be good. The other thing you might want to know is how you adjust your steering wheel and mirrors. So if you tap on your name up here, you've got steering wheel controls. So tap that and you can see it walks you through if you want to raise or lower your height. And then also if you want to push the wheel in or out. Then you can also adjust your side mirrors here too. And you'll use the scroll wheels on the steering wheel. So you can see I'm moving my mirror there with my thumb. And then you can save those settings or go back to what you had before. And that will also save whatever your seat settings are in this menu. You can't adjust your seat from up here because all the seat controls are right here. So pretty standard seat controls, backrest, and your lumbar. Now, if you want to get in and out of the car, you're typically going to push this electronic latch right here. But there is also a manual override that you can pull to exit the vehicle. All right, so next up, we'll talk about the climate. I'm starting to get pretty warm in here, so we'll go ahead and turn this on. You can adjust your temp however you want it. And here you can also turn on your heated wheel, heated mirrors. You can hold the climate. You can also turn on and off the rear row climate. There is a screen in the rear row. I'll show you that once we get back there. And then if you want to adjust seats, this one has heated and cooled seats, so you can pick whichever one you want. I want the cooling right now. And then the passenger has those same options over here, just no heated wheel, obviously. Now the climate vents physically do move, but you're not really supposed to put your fingers in here to move them. You do everything from the screen. So right now we're actually in the back row view, so we'll switch back to the front view. And then you can see by dragging on the screen, you can move where the air is. Now, it is physically moving the vents. So if you look right here, I'll move the center ones. So you can see they're moving back and forth based on what I'm doing on the screen. Now there is an A and B setting for both driver and passenger. So if you want to preset, you know, oh, when I'm really hot, or, you know, I want all the air blowing right on me as I cool down, then I can switch to the B setting and move those vents to wherever they want to be. You can also turn on your heated mirrors and stuff by clicking on stuff in the picture too, which is kind of neat. You can also adjust where the air is going if you want air on the floor or air up top. So this is not like heated windshield, heated floor, that's vents above or below. Then you can also go into pet mode if you want. So you can see the little paw prints here now. Might be a little bit hard to see it there. but you can see the temp and everything's good. Now, if you have tinted windows like this situation, it might actually be kind of hard to see that screen. So just something to keep in mind. And then as soon as I open the door, it just switched back to the normal view. The other thing to talk about is the navigation here along the bottom. It's pretty well laid out. So there's this little line. So this app here is like another app you can switch over to. So there's a couple more options here. So like the settings, for example, now that'll be the most recent thing on the side there. The maps, music, all of the drive modes, gauges are in here, and then your cameras are in here, which the cameras in this are awesome. So you can easily get to your cameras right there anytime. You can switch to, you know, rear, bed view, side mirror view, whatever you want. And then from this page, this is where all your drive modes are. And if you see them grayed out like this, it's because you just need to actually push the brake. Now, hearing that chime, the first few times I did that, I thought I was actually in reverse because my Mach-E basically makes the same sound when I go into reverse. But really, that's just the seatbelt chime. So if you put your seatbelt on first before you hit the brake, you won't hear that chime. And now you can adjust all your settings here. And if you want to have the gauges, you can just kind of swipe to the side anywhere in here and it'll bring the gauges back up. And that's where your trips are. You can see elevation, battery temps, all that good stuff. So maybe last couple things on like turn signals and wipers. There's no buttons or anything down here. So your headlights and wipers are all going to be, and turn signals are all going to be on this left stalk. You can press and hold the wiper option to turn them off, or press and hold it up to go to the highest setting. Press and hold to turn it off. And then if you want to click up through the different settings, you just push it once. If you ever want to run the wipers just one time, there's this little button on the end right here. You can just push that once. Now the R1S has this button split into two pieces for the rear wiper and front wiper. The R1T doesn't have a rear wiper, it just has the single wiper. And then your headlights work basically the same way. You can cycle between auto, fog lights, lights off. If you press and hold it, you can jump between these. So I usually just leave that on auto. Then on this side over here, this is going to be your gear selection, forward, reverse, park. Also any hands-free driving and cruise control is all controlled through here. So it'll show you up here on the screen. So just to go into drive, you just push down right here, go in reverse, push up here. And then whenever you want to switch into park, just push it here. It does freak me out mentally just a little bit that the button on this side runs the wiper and the button on this side goes into park, especially because in my Mach-E, my wipers are over here and my gear selector is in the center of the car down here. Now on the newer Mach-Es, they did move the gear selector up here, but anyway, those, you know, just mentally that freaks me out sometime that like I'm just going to accidentally put it into park. I'm sure there's some safety thing. If you're going a certain speed, it won't actually do that. So you can see there's some icons up here. If you pull the stalk back once, it will go into just regular adaptive cruise control. It won't try and do any self-driving, lane centering, anything like that. And if you pull it back twice, that'll go into the hands-free mode. And then whenever you want to cancel, you push the stalk forward. You can also hit the brake if you want to. So the steering wheel is pretty straightforward. The only buttons on it are right here on the front. There's a scroll wheel on each side and then a left and a right. You can also click in the scroll wheel too. On the left side here, this is going to be your volume. And then if you want to skip tracks forward or backward, you can push left or right here. And then if you long press this, it will activate Alexa. Now if you push and hold this button, it will cycle. So it's showing efficiency right now. You can switch to tire pressure. Also your music, this would have the album art, your map, and then back to efficiency. So you got to press and hold the buttons over there. Now over here, when you're in any kind of cruise control mode, the scroll wheel here will adjust your speed. If you click it once, you can switch between this kind of autonomy display, or you can switch to the map view. Also on the infotainment, if you ever want to take a recording just on a whim, you just decide you want to start recording, you can just push this little button right here and it will start recording from your cameras, which is cool. You've got your garage door opener options. This will show you any notifications. So, you know, if you're away from the car and it recorded something, you know, somebody parked next to you or walked by the car, it will give you a notification here. So center storage, so it took me a second to figure out how to open these. I was like, I don't want to break it, but on the front, there's a little button that you push and then it will open right up. There's also two USB-Cs in here, and you can see there's a little spot to run a wire up through here. You've also got a wireless charging pad up here on both sides. There's a flash drive plugged in right there to do recording. There are cup holders down there, but you also have some cup holders right here. Then here in the back seat, you've got a screen back here as well. There's also an outlet, 110 volt outlet right here, plus USB-C. You can control your light, your audio, heated seats, climate, lock the doors. You can do pretty much everything from back here. These vents are manual in the back here. I already showed you the gear tunnel, and then you've got some cup holders right here. There's a little bit of storage in here. Then you can also pull these seats back right here, and you've got some under seat storage. On the other side here, depending on how your Rivian's set up, you might have a subwoofer in here. My friend upgraded this sub here, so it sounds pretty good, but depends on how your Rivian is configured there. Now the back doors do not have a manual release, they just have an electronic release. All right, so I think I've shown you everything around the car on the inside. I'll also show you on the app as well, but it's very straightforward. You can do a lot of the same stuff in the app, which is pretty cool. Next, we're gonna take it out on the road and drive it, and I'll show you briefly just how you engage the hands-free mode, how you adjust your speed and all that. So let's hop in the car and go check that out. Okay, so to engage it, you pull back on the stalk twice. If you pull it back once, it goes into adaptive cruise, and then twice goes into universal hands-free. And you'll know if you're in an area where you can do it if you see this little icon with the hands on the wheel like this. And then your scroll wheel here on the right will adjust the speed for you. With the Blue Cruise system, you know, in these types of roads, it wants my hands to be on the wheel. Where with the Rivian, on highway, off highway, it seems like as long as it can see the lines on the road, it'll let you do universal hands-free. Now, this is not, you know, like Tesla FSD self-driving, because it does not stop for traffic lights, stop signs, anything like that. So you're gonna have to take over. The only reason it's gonna slow down for a stop sign or something like that is if there's a car in front of you that's also slowing down. All right, well, that about does it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if I missed anything. I'm gonna have a couple other videos on the Rivian coming up here. I'll do a more in-depth comparison between the Autonomy Plus system that Rivian has and the Blue Cruise system in my Mach-E. So subscribe if you wanna see that, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.